Well, good morning there, everybody. Hey, it is Melanie Mitro, and I am live here on my page this morning, and I am back for Business Tip Tuesday. As you all know, last week I took a little break, and I was actually out of town. I was in Orlando, Florida for the Entree Leadership event with the Dave Ramsey Solutions Company and his Entree Leadership team. And I will tell you that was probably, no, I correct myself. That was the best investment I have ever made in my professional development. So let me just give you a little backstory. Is one of the things that I've never done before is I'm very, I get this from my husband. I'm sort of cheap when it comes to spending money on certain things. And for me, I really didn't want to spend money on professional development. I really thought that I could just educate myself with all the free stuff that was out there. I could watch YouTube videos, I could read books, I could watch, podcast or listen to podcasts. And I'm going to be quite honest with you. I know now that surrounding myself with people in the flesh is very different than listening to a podcast or watching a broadcast of an event on the computer. And so I said, in 2017, I'm going to invest in at least 2 professional development events for myself that are going to grow me as a leader. And so Entree Leadership was one of those events that, number one, was expensive, right? It's an expensive event to go to. But I will tell you that it has paid off in so many ways. Not only was I surrounded by John Maxwell and Dave Ramsey, Simon Sinek, Lou Holtz, Chris Hogan, Christy Wright, who just wrote the Business Boutique book, surrounded by these people that not only have done the things that I envisioned for myself in my future, but they inspired me to realize that I'm just this tiny little speck in the universe, and there's so many possibilities out there and so many more things that I can accomplish, and also so much that I have yet to learn about business and growth and developing a team and leading an organization. And so it was just exactly what I needed at this point in my life. And so if you are looking to grow a business of any kind, right? It wasn't necessarily even network marketing. It was just business owners in general. There was over 1,500 people at that event where we were able to network together and just be inspired. And it gave me some great tools that I can share with my team. It's given me inspiration. It's given me, just some fresh energy, because being a work at home mom and knowing that, I'm in my office and I don't necessarily physically talk to people every single day, this gave me that re-inspiration to remember, hey, your life right now is like this tiny little bit of what your future is going to be. So with that being said, one of my favorite parts about this event was a part where we talked about building a strong team. It talked about how do you communicate your vision with your team and motivate your organization towards a common goal. So how many of you are like, this is exactly what I need? I know for me, this is something I struggle with, because I really don't ever want my coaches to feel like I am pushing my own agenda on them. Can you relate to that? Or I don't want them to feel like, hey, I'm just in this for the money, or, I'm just trying to get to the next rank or get to the next income level, or what do these goals really mean? And it's very hard to communicate that, because I want them to know that there is something in it for them as well. So, to me, that is very important. And that was something that I think I struggled with, because I didn't quite know how to communicate that at first. And so I feel like it's getting better. And I'm going to share with you some things that we're going to talk about today about how you can, number one, be a better leader yourself, but then also communicate that vision with others. All right. So if you have questions, my chat bar is not working on my phone, so I'll look over here at the end to my computer and just kind of keep checking in. So, all right, first things first. When you are looking at communicating your vision and getting your coaches or your team, to move towards a common goal, the first thing is this. It is about the leader first. It's about you. You are the leader, and it starts with you. And so the first thing is that I want you to think about this. If you can't lead a team, this was something I wrote down in my notes. If you can't lead a team, you will always have a small business. And then underneath of that, I wrote, this is why a lot of people leave a network marketing company, because they are great at retail. They are great at selling, so there's all these salespeople out there that are really good at their job, but they can't make that shift to becoming a leader. And so they max out at their capacity because either they're not willing to take the time to educate themselves on leadership, they're not willing to learn and grow in personal development, or they just don't care. It's just not that important to them, or they have no interest in being a leader. But if you're looking to grow your team, it's going to start with you. It doesn't even start with the people. It starts with you. And that's first and foremost what we need to pay attention to first. So if you can't lead a team, it's time to dive into leadership. And I remember when I got to the point where I was starting to grow a team, I had a few, when I say a few, like 2 people that were actually working the business that were underneath of me. I remember thinking, I don't really know how to lead. And so the first couple of books that I bought were on leadership. I read a lot of John Maxwell's, leadership books. And, I'm trying to think who else that I read a lot of books. There was a lot of books that I read just to get myself going with personality style. So I invested in myself first. Also, another thing that you will find is if you are a strong personality and if you follow the color code, red, that red personality that tends to take charge, that tends to just be that natural leader, that tends to dominate, sometimes is a little bit bossy. I would classify myself as that person. And I realized that not everybody was like that. Not everybody was all in. Not everybody was just get down to business, just do the work, don't overthink it. So I had to educate myself on the personality styles. And the one thing I realized that again was brought to my attention as I was going through this event was people don't want to be managed. As a leader, you're not managing your people. You're not setting quotas for people because basically they're just working to a quota. You are trying to inspire your team. So you want to inspire your team to take action versus setting a quota. So when you're trying to get somebody to rank advance, right, to the next level, you want to inspire them by showing them that it can be done, by leading from the front, by telling them this is how your life will change because of it, or this is how my life has become better because of this thing that I have accomplished, right? This is how I feel when I'm helping more people and when I'm reaching that goal, or this is how my family dynamic has changed because of the income level that we've achieved. Not just, you have to hit this benchmark, you have to hit this goal, and we have to do it by this time. People need to understand why. They need to feel inspired. They need to see you walking the walk and loving it to want to take that action. So that's something else to think about. It's just your communication. What is your nonverbals? What is the language that you're using? Because you could be, in essence, sending the wrong message, coming off too harsh, but not meaning to come off too harsh, right? Maybe you're trying to get your team in our business to hit Success Club at the end of the month, and you're just barking orders, hit Success Club, hit Success Club, you have to do it. It's a non-negotiable. You got to do it, but people don't understand why. They're not inspired by a 5, but they're inspired by changing somebody's life. They're inspired by the success story. They're inspired by the fact that if they reach out to more people today, the opportunity that they can meet that one person where it changes the game, it saves them from a bad situation, that would inspire me to take action. Seeing other people's success stories would inspire me to take action. All right, okay, so one of the things that we need to do, right, we're talking about ourselves. The first and foremost, I've got 5 things that you wanna focus on for you first. Number 1 is that you need to create a clear vision. And we're actually gonna dive into this a little more in just a minute, but a vision is important. If you, as the leader, don't know where you're going, if you're floating through your business just kind of here, just kind of checking off the boxes every day, you don't really know what you want to get, you don't really have an income goal, you don't have a rank goal, you don't have a savings goal or anything for your family or your personal life, your team's going to feel the same way. And they're dying to follow a cause. But it comes with you sharing that cause and sharing that vision very boldly of what the higher level, right? So yes, I wanted to pay off debt. Yes, I wanted to be in the best shape of my life. But then I wanted to inspire other people to feel that way too. I wanted to be the very best leader that I could be. I did not just want to be the only person achieving success. I want to create a team of coaches who are having success too. And I want to do that through mentoring, through trainings, through showing up, and doing live events and doing Zoom calls and sharing and being in the trenches and practicing what I'm preaching. And you have to be bold about that, because your team needs to be able to hear that vision over and over and over again. They say that it takes 21 times of somebody hearing something before it sticks. So how many of you have gone into your team page or have gone live and have shared your vision for your current business, your current team members, but also the people that are yet to join your team? Maybe you've done it once, and maybe you did it 6 months ago, right? Or maybe you haven't at all, or you're like, people should just know what my vision is. People don't know what your vision is. They have no idea. And if you aren't passionate about it, you can't get on live video and go, okay guys, this is my vision for my team. I'm real excited about this vision and I really want to get everybody on board. And so here's what we're going to do this year. We're going to be an elite team in 2017. That is not inspiring. But if you get on and you are animated and you are excited and you are confident that even though we're not there yet, we absolutely will be at the end of the year, and I'm going to show up every day and I'm going to lead from the front and I'm going to inspire you how to take action and share with you everything I'm doing along the way. And look, we're going to fail and we're going to fail forward, and it might be a little bit scary, but I promise you when we reach this goal, it is going to feel incredible. That's the way you want to share your vision. You want to share it in such a way that your team is like, I got to have a piece of that. I want to be a part of that. That's contagious. That's high energy. And your team needs to know that you care about them. And that comes by practice and sharing and communicating that vision with your team at all times. So it's going to take somebody, again, 21 times of hearing it before it sinks in. So get into the habit of making your vision and your passion and what you want to inspire them to act on a part of your daily practices. The next thing, as a leader, before we can inspire our teams, we need to look at ourselves and we need to say, okay, what's the gap? I mean, really get honest with yourself, right? Nobody ever wants to look at what they're not good at, but we need to identify the gaps in our own skill set in our team right now to be able to assess where we want to go, right? Where does my team need to improve? Do I have the right people on my team? Like, honestly, you might say to yourself, these people have great potential, but they're not taking action. And so in that case, you may not have the right people on your team. You have great people with great potential, but you can't make them do something. They have to reach out and do the same. Or maybe for yourself, you have to be honest with yourself and say, look, I need to improve on these skills so that I can be better at communicating my vision. And that's something that you identify the gap, but then the next thing you do is you create an action plan for that too. So the third thing is once you identify the gap and you're beginning to create this vision, and then you start to understand, you learn and you grow. So the thing here at this point is a strong leader never gets comfortable. Comfort is a sign that you're just cruising. You're just going on cruise control, right? And so we really have to look at ourselves and say, as a leader, and I learned this last week, is that I'm nowhere near my capacity of learning. I don't know it all. I don't know it all about leadership. And John Maxwell shared this, and he's like, every day I seek to learn. I seek to ask questions. I seek to interview people, surround myself with people who are doing it better than I am, that are younger, that are fresher, that have new ideas, that are up and coming, because I know that I can learn from them. And sure, he was 60 years old and he has a lot of wisdom, but he also realizes, and he's a humble leader to know that he doesn't know it all and he's never going to be done learning. And he invests at least an hour a day in his personal development on a specific area, working towards a specific goal. And so that to me really made me say, okay, right? I know that I can consistently grow in my leadership if I seek to understand, seek to learn, and seek to grow every single day. As a leader, it is my duty and responsibility to grow myself so that I can inspire my team to keep growing. Also, create an action plan. How are you going to get to the vision? And you have to communicate that action plan. So this is the hard part for people, is they have an idea, but then they don't know how to break it down. So as the leader, you spend some time with your good old notebook paper and a pen, and just putting your vision at the top or your short-term goals at the top, and what are the action plans? Is it right now you're thinking to yourself, man, I need to assess. I need to go back and look at my organization and who are my key players, who are not. Am I putting rose-colored glasses on and thinking that my team has potential, but they do have potential, they're just not actually taking action on it. So I need to shift my focus to finding new people and communicating that, hey, this train is leaving the station, you're either going or not. I mean, maybe the next action plan is to immediately go live and communicate your vision and where you want to go with your organization, right? Or is it saying like, this is what this goal means to me? You know, being a top 10 team means to me, and it's on my whiteboard over there, it means to me that my coaches are achieving their goals. I don't want to be a top 10 team if I don't have star diamonds, team leaders, coaches that are paying off their debt, leaving jobs they don't want to be at, able to stay at home with their kids, producing the retirement or the income or lifestyle that they set out for themselves. My goals are a direct reflection of what my team wants to achieve. It's not about me, it's about them. And I don't want to be in 1 through 10 if I don't have other leaders surrounding me. And so when I communicate that vision, it makes my team understand that if we are at that spot, it means that we're all having success, not just one of us. Because I won't settle for that. I won't stand for that. I would refocus my energy if I wasn't in line with that vision and that goal for my team. And then the last thing that we need to do, number 5 in this one, is put in the work. This was something that Chris Hogan said. You are either getting better or you are getting worse. Nothing stays the same. Now, I'm not saying you have to sacrifice your whole life and you have to give up all of your free time, but I'm telling you, leadership takes work. Leadership is, you're not a born leader, right? Again, Dave Ramsey said this too. You know, you might look at somebody else and say, oh, they're just born a leader. They're just naturally a born leader. No, I've never heard a doctor say when a baby is born that, oh, look, we have a born leader. It's a leader. No, it's either a boy or a girl, right? And so you have to really look at that and say, okay, what are the skills that I need to develop to become a leader? That's where you're shifting your professional development to. If you stop growing, you stop leading, you stop being inspired and doing the things that got you to where you are right now today, I promise you your business is going to go backwards. And that's why you see a lot of people shift and move and go to different organizations in different places, because at some point they stopped sharpening a skill that was getting them to the point where they were. They stopped growing, they got comfortable, they thought this is great. And look, when you are just hitting that cruise, you're not going forward, you're going backwards. All right? Okay, so with that being said, we're going to move on to the second part. And let me just look at the conversation here real quick, because the next thing we're going to do is, those are the skills that were used to build us. Now we want to focus on, how do we actually build a team? How do we actually build a team? Oh, good. Thank you, guys. I appreciate the feedback. So the next thing is this. Number 1, you set the tone for your team. Don't let mediocrity slide. Don't. If you exhibit mediocrity, your team will follow that lead. If you put it on cruise control, your team will put it on cruise control. Building a strong team starts with you. It starts with you. So number 1, we're going back to that vision. Build a clear vision for your team, and you need to tell them again why your vision is important. But here's the other thing. The people that are most critical to the success of the vision are the people that are on your team. We have to hire, or in our case, enroll smart team members. Quality is key. If you want to build a team, you can't just focus on only people that want to get the discount on the product, because those are in essence just discount customers. They just are. They just happen to be receiving that discount. If you want to build a team, you have to focus on people that are like you. And one of the things that Dave Ramsey said in there, he was like, he goes, it's going to cost you more to have somebody on your team that is not part of your tribe, that does not fit your personality style, that does not have the same vision, that does not, have the same morals and moral compass, right? If that's going to cost you more time and headache and pain than if you just waited until you found the right person to accept on your team. And so it's okay to tell people no. It's okay to say to Sally, hey, Sally, I think you're a great person, and I think you really could do an amazing job in this business, but I'm not sure that we would be a good fit for one another. And I don't know that I would be doing you any service if you join my team, because I just don't think we have that same learning and personality style. It is much better for you to be bold at communicating your vision and putting out your feelers to find the right people, even if it takes a little extra time, because it's magical when you find the right people to join your team. The second thing is you can't just slide. We have to constantly push our team to grow. Give them challenges and things to learn every single day. So do you go into your team page? Do you host team calls? Do you give calls to action? Do you challenge them and inspire them with additional resources? It doesn't always need to be, hey, here's a new script, or hey, here's a new guide for you to follow, or a new call to watch. But how do you actually challenge them to grow? How do you inspire them to grow outside of their comfort zone? How do you get them to figure out what might be their self-limiting beliefs so that they can push past them? And do you tell your coaches you believe that they are capable of more than they're exhibiting right now? Do you give a little bit of that constructive criticism and call on their BS? Because sometimes people don't even realize that they're giving you BS, and you know that they're capable of much more, but you say, I understand you're busy right now. I understand that, you're working, a full-time job, or I understand the kids are out for the summer. Go ahead, take the summer off. Or do you call somebody's bluff and say, look, I know what your goals are back in January. And if those goals are still true today, let me love on you a little bit. Do you care if I give you just my honest feedback? And just say, look, I know these goals are important, and I don't believe that they've changed because you haven't communicated that with me. And I believe that you're still capable of accomplishing that and having a great summer with your children. So why don't we sit down and take a look at your calendar? Let's carve out some focused work time. Let's look at what's on your to-do list, and let's make sure that we're only focused on the things that are going to bring you the success that are going to get you to your goals. And then the rest of those things, maybe there are things we can do in the fall when the kids go back to school and you have a little bit more time. Don't take people's BS, especially if you know that they have the ability to be great, because maybe they're just a little bit scared. But the minute you tell your team, I believe in you, I believe that I believe that you can do this, I see the potential in you, I want to help you. As soon as somebody knows, as soon as your coaches, your team knows that you've got their back, they're going to act. They're willing to take more of a risk. Also, you've got to spend time with your team. This is a personal weakness of mine, right? I am a natural, just do it by myself. I am a natural independent person. I don't need this big fun community of people that are hanging out and partying and getting together all the time. I like to just do my job and hang out with my family. And so for me, I just think that that's not the way that everybody is. And so for me, it's okay, I need to really make sure, and I even wrote it on here. I wrote it on this note card. This was something I wrote because it's a personal thing I want to work on. When I treat my team like family, they act like family and they know I care. Now, I care about every single one of my coaches on my team. I care. I am always hurt if I hurt somebody's feelings. I hate that feeling. But I'm not very good at communicating that. I'm not very good at showing that because I am just that red personality where people should just do their work. But this now has become something that if I want to build a strong team, my team needs to be just an extension of my family. They need to know that I care. And of course, I'm not going to spend all my time on that, but that is something that I'm carving out and making a priority in my business. Actually, I just got done handwriting notes and sending out some little gifts to my team. Just people that stuck out to me this month that have just really done an incredible job in their businesses, or have done some, not even just rank or income wise, but that just are really crushing their business, or are being more confident, or being more bold, or have had an incredible transformation. And just carve out time in my life to make sure those people know that I care. All right. The next thing is we have to execute the right thing. Building a strong team means that we are not speaking to the minimums, right? But we are pushing people to their maximums. So how many of us say in Beachbody world, everybody should hit Success Club 5 every single month, right? We always say that, but that's a minimum. That's a minimum. When you look at our business activity tracker, these are the minimums. This is when you want to build a strong team, you can't speak to minimums. right? Adding three new people. I actually crossed it out and I wrote 5 to 10. Right? Make 3 posts on social media. Sure, I think 3 to 4 is great. Start 3 new conversations. These are minimums. We can tell coaches and team members to go to the minimums, but if we want to build this strong team, we have to inspire them to say, okay, you did 5 new invites in 20 minutes and you blocked out an hour of time for that. I think you need to do 10 or 15. So why don't we start raising the bar? I think you can do more. It's the 15th of the month. I think that since you already reached your goal, you should challenge yourself to see how much more you can do. And you know what? I lead that charge. I started showing my points. I started showing my invites. I started showing what I was doing so that it reminded people that, hey, if you want to grow a larger organization or you have big goals, you can't be speaking to minimums. You have to say to yourself, where am I capping myself and how can I inspire people to go further than they're already going? We got to celebrate the wins, guys. This is number 5. Assess where you are now. What are you doing that's working really well? What's awesome with your team? Acknowledge those opportunities. And we've got to activate a plan of action. And as the leader, it is your job to begin to say to yourself, I can't control it all. I need to delegate. Now that you're seeing yourself as a leader and you have maybe some newer people on your team that are starting to take charge and they're doing really good at maybe invites or follow-ups or their social media is awesome, delegate. Ask them to share, ask them to get on a team call, show how they expand their network and their market. Take that responsibility off of yourself and give it to other people, because the minute you start inspiring others to take action and giving them responsibility in the team, they begin to take ownership. But if you sit there and say, I'm the only one that can do it amazing, I'm the only one that can do it great, I have to host every team call, I have to host every, sneak peek or business opportunity event or, challenge group, nobody will ever step up and take a leadership role because you're the only one that can do it the best, because you haven't shown that you truly believe in them yet. All right? Your team needs to know that you believe in them. Take the time to tell them how thankful that you are that they are a part of your organization. Growing a team is about building that relationships, inspiring people to take action, not dictating orders. And last but not least, guys, your team is dying to follow you to that destination. You've got to get your team to think differently. And we have to get strong and stay strong. As the leader, it's our job to lead from the front, to be that strong and confident leader, to face those fears, to share wholeheartedly our failures that we have, because in the midst of our failures, it's inspiring somebody else to take action on something that they're afraid to take action on. And by you leading that charge and leading them from the front, you show them that it can be done. So I want you to take a few moments before you leave this live video today and you go back to your daily life and you just jump into the next thing on your to-do list. Take a few moments and ask yourself, what stuck out to me as a part of this live? What do I need to do to communicate my vision? Maybe it starts with you just sitting down and writing your vision as to what it is that you want to accomplish over the next 6 months, over the next year. And then don't be afraid to share it. If it's elite, if it's premier, and you aren't sure how to share that, I want you to go into your team page. I want you to go live, and I just want you to say to your team that I want us to be an elite team, because number one, it means we're 0.01% of the Team Beachbody community, right? It means that we represent the smallest, minute amount of leaders in the organization. It is not Melanie Mitro or, Alyssa that is an elite coach. It is the team. It is the organization. Every one of you takes ownership in that. And you know what? By us working towards helping more people, inspire more people to get in shape, creating more success stories in our team, by you going out there and saying, I want to help more people or inspire more people to start their business, we are going to become an elite team. It means that we get access to, information before it's launched to the rest of the network. It means that I have more leverage to be able to help you guys when you have issues and have a problem. It means that we can say we're an elite team when we're marketing that out there on social media and trying to get other people to join us. It gives us credibility. It's something else that we put on our resume, and it's not a me thing, it's a we thing. We are an elite team. We are in this together, and we are going to celebrate the heck out of this once it happens, right? And you communicate that vision of what you want to happen with your team. And then you communicate that vision every month. You give them an update on where you're at, how close you are, what they can do to get there. You inspire them by showing them the way. All right, guys, as always, I'd love to hear your feedback. What about this stuck out to you? What about this do you still need clarification on? How else can I help you? And as always, this will be a blog post on melaniemitro.com on the blog. I'll also upload this to YouTube, so you can go and check out all the previous Business Tip Tuesdays on my YouTube channel. I actually have a playlist that is called Business Tip Tuesdays, so make sure you go over there and subscribe to my YouTube and also to my Melanie Mitro site, so you can stay up to date on all the latest information and news. And I will be back at it again next week, coming live to you guys from Italy. So, all right, have a wonderful day, and I will talk to you soon. Bye, everybody.